Welcome back to another episode of the Field of 68's 2023 NBA Draft Prospect Profiles. My name is Rob Dosser. I'm joined today by Terrence Oglesby, and we are going to be breaking down a kid that T.O. knows very, very well, none other than Tennessee's Julian Phillips, a 6'8", 200-pound freshman that averaged 8.3 points, 4.7 boards, and 1.4 assists while shooting not very well from the floor, not very well from three, and 82% from the free throw line as a freshman at Tennessee. He was a guy that was a top 10 to 20 recruit coming out of high school. He is a guy that is currently looking at being picked somewhere in the early second round. Limited production, limited minutes as the season went on, but unlimited potential, T.O. You know this guy as well as anybody. What do you make of Julian Phillips?
Well, I'm going to start with the positives. One is thin frame, but functionally strong. He's much stronger than he looks right away. He looks skinny, like it doesn't matter. He finds ways to get the ball up around the rim. He really gets to the free throw line. That's another thing that he does really well because he has a quick first step, can get to spots. Now, understanding space, understanding when he can attack is going to be an adjustment at the NBA level. But that all being said, he didn't receive a whole hell of a lot of help at Tennessee with some of those things because they were so crammed in that nobody could really function anyway. I thought he should have been featured more because of his ability to create shots on his own. Tennessee didn't have that. He could have done that. And then they close out the season where he only plays 12 minutes and finishes with 0 points on 0 for 2 shooting. He wasn't utilized correctly. He's a guy that's going to go to these draft invites to go work out for these teams. He's going to shoot the cover off the ball because he has that ability and he's going to impress some people. He's going to be one of these guys that let's not say anything because we want to scoop him up at the end of the first. He has that kind of ability. He's long arms. If there's one thing he did prove at Tennessee, it's his ability to defend multiple positions and defend well multiple positions. Really good length, excellent athlete, and can really cover some space. Now, is he going to be this long-term pro where he's making all-star games? I'm not quite sure about that. But what I do think he can be, I think he can be a Corey Brewer-like player at his floor because he can really defend. He can be that guy you say, hey, go get him. And he can go ahead. And it's tough to guard NBA players. I get all that. But he has that lateral ability. He has the length. He has the athleticism to really defend. That's where his calling card's going to be early. I also think his three-point shooting percentages, they're going to be better at the NBA level because he's going to get better shots. That archaic offense they have at Tennessee really hurt him. And I think during these draft workouts, he's going to play well.
So defensively, I'm with you. I'm buying him. The athleticism, the versatility, playing for one of the best defenses in college basketball last season, it's there. But to be able to survive in the NBA, if you are not like a top 5 defender in the sport, like a PJ Tucker, like somebody at that level, you got to have the 3-point part of it as well. Break down why you are so bullish on him as a shooter for a guy that shot 23% from three as a freshman and 41% from the floor as a freshman. To be fair, 82% from the free throw line, that tracks well on 4 attempts per game, but he didn't show it there. You've known him. You've probably coached him on his shooting quite a bit. Why do you buy that jump shot?
Well, it's there. It's in the pocket. And to be honest with you, when he's a bigger part of what you're doing, and whenever that ball would swing around and he could at least touch it, he shoots the ball better. I think that's anybody. And because of the NBA of how it's so quick, move the ball, cut through, this guy touch it, move the ball again, like he's going to be able to flourish in that type of environment. There were times where he would go 8 to 10 minutes in Tennessee's basketball game where he wouldn't touch the basketball, let alone get a shot attempt. Mm-hmm. And he only took 46 threes on the year, made 11. And whenever he was a key part of that offense, Tennessee flourished. Look at his performance at Battle for Atlantis. I think he was tournament MVP or on the all-tournament team. Ends up with 25 against USC because he was a big part of what they were doing. You look at a game like Mississippi State, he goes 6 for 12 from the field, 11 rebounds, 18 points. He was a key part of that offense. The bigger part of the offense he was, the better that Tennessee was, and the better that he ended up playing as long as he got to just touch the ball. So when he played well is when he just felt like he was a part. When he played poorly is when he was stuck over there in a corner, which was just crazy to me because he brings up so much versatility because he's such a team player. One of the only drawbacks about him if you don't set him up to score, he's not somebody that's going to take it and be like, this ball's mine, get out of my way. Very good kid, very good player, very willing to move the ball. Not necessarily an all alpha dog mentality, which may hurt him, which may help him at the NBA level, depending on where he lands. Great kid, great family, all that, this, that, and the third. He's going to interview well. Teams are going to like him. What's he going to be able to be defensively? And is he going to be able to shoot the ball well enough? Because he tracks well enough as a defensive player. Is he going to be able to hit that three? My bet is he can. Can he do some of the other things that NBA teams value, like create and do some of those things? It's possible. However, his frame is going to make it difficult. But functionally strong, great athlete, really good defender. And if he can shoot the ball well, I like him moving forward.
Our partner for today's episode is Athletic Greens. I started taking AG1 during the college basketball season, and I loved the impact that it had on my energy levels. I'm a big coffee in the morning guy, but by the time that the afternoon would hit, I needed another boost. AG1 helped me tremendously, especially on those days when I didn't want to get up off the couch and go hit the gym. Their tagline is AG1 is comprehensive health and the power of habit in one. And man, that could not be more true. It's nearly impossible to eat and drink in a healthy manner in the month of February and the month of March when you are in my business. And AG1 was exactly the supplement that I needed to improve my gut health and cover my nutritional basis for the day. I've continued that into April. I've continued that into May, and I'm going to continue that the rest of the summer. All I have to do is mix a scoop of AG1 with some water or maybe add it into a smoothie, and I'm ready to go. Do it after lunch, and you'll be ready to go for the rest of the day. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/field68. That's field 68 FIELD, the number 6, the number 8, and you can get yours now. So check it out and help support this show. Thanks. So one of the things that you mentioned there, the lack of an alpha dog mentality is something that kind of concerns me as well, right? If he kind of got lost in the shuffle offensively for Tennessee, what will prevent him from getting lost in the shuffle offensively when you get to the next level?
The ball moving and the pace of play that's needed. In the NBA, you can't play with fast pace. Every NBA coach you talk to, pace. We want to play with pace. We want to get this moving. Well, you don't play with pace by dribbling the ball. You play with pace by passing the ball, by making decisions quickly. 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, coming off DHOs, making a decision there. Could he be a guy that's a good passer? He can be. When I say alpha dog mentality, if you put him in that spot, he will get you something. If you don't put him in that spot, he's very willing to let the ball flow. That's something he needs to work on. But all the intangibles are there. He works hard. Good rebounder, not a great one right now, needs to improve. But I think his defensive potential is what sets him apart. And I think when he gets these workouts, he's going to shoot the ball well.
What do you see his ceiling as a pro?
I keep going back and forth. You know what? Like,
so you mentioned Corey Brewer. So we'll just the best seasons that he had, he averaged 13 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Was a guy that never really shot it well, 28% career 3-point shooter, but he is someone that was a high level starter.
New age Corey Brewer, a guy who's going to shoot it a little bit better. And I know people think, well, he shot 23%. Just the shots there. Corey's was a little mechanic. Arms were a little too close together, this, that, and a third. Julian's going to be able to shoot the ball.
Do you see him? Where would you draft him if you are an NBA franchise? Are you taking him in the late first? Are you taking him in the early second? Are you willing to invest a 4-year guaranteed deal in him as a player?
Early 20s because of his defensive potential and what I've seen him do offensively. Now, a lot of people haven't been privy to what I've seen with him, but because of his ability to, 1, get to the free throw line, highly valued. 2, I've seen his ability to shoot the ball at a higher level and be unselfish and be willing to be a part. I think early 20s is a good spot for that. And the fact that you're not going to have to worry about much defensively. Early 20s is where I would look at him seriously. Once you get past that, he becomes a value pick because he gets to that second round. You don't have a guaranteed deal. You could 2-way him, and then you could just see how it goes in the G League, which I think he'll play well at that level too. But early 20s, you find a good spot for him, some good leadership, and then he finds himself as an offensive player at that level. There's some upside there.
What kind of organization does he need to go to? Do you want him in a place where maybe like the Thunder, that's kind of up and coming a little bit, that's on the verge of, breaking through, that has a bunch of young talent? Do you want him on a place where he's got a bunch of veterans and forceful personalities around him? Where do you want him on a place where they're not in the playoff picture right now, and he can come in and just get the reps, and he doesn't have to worry about the pressure of, okay, if I'm not able to make this play, we might not make the playoffs?
Anytime you talk about a player outside the lottery, you want a good fit for that individual player, and so much is up in the air. So if you want them in with veterans, that's a slippery slope, because sometimes you'll get stuck behind those veterans for 3 or 4 years, and then you don't really have that chance at that second contract, which everybody knows it's not the first one, it's the second one in the NBA. To be honest with you, from a mental perspective, I'm not worried about him. From his ability to be a professional, I'm not worried about him. He can go to Houston, which everything we know can be in disarray with some of the guys they have on that team. I also think, if you put him somewhere like a Golden State, he'll put his head down, he'll work, and he'll understand his role. He's a guy I'm not necessarily worried about the fit from his attitude. I'm not necessarily worried about the fit from his work ethic. I'm more worried about the fit for his opportunity, which, let's be honest, Rob, I think I've said that with all 5 guys we've talked about today. You got to find the right spot for what they need.
Well, it's like that for anybody, right? Like if you need to have the right role and a team that buys into the ability that you have to be able to play. You know what I mean? Like there's guys in Europe, right? There's probably, when you want to talk about like NBA level players, there's probably 4 times as many NBA level players as there are NBA jobs available. So you got to find
350 something NBA jobs. What's the number?
It's about 500 when you include
2 ways.
When you include the 2 ways, yeah.
Okay, so here's what people don't understand too. The last 4 guys or last 6 guys on an NBA bench, because they have 13 now, 14. So like the last 6 guys are very interchangeable with the top level European players. Very interchangeable. It's just a matter of, have you found that role and have you gotten that opportunity? And when I say they're interchangeable, that means from a skill perspective, they're very similar. It's just who's gotten that opportunity to stick, who's gotten that opportunity to be a leader, who's gotten that opportunity to get extra reps on the floor. That's a big difference. Somebody's trying to tell me Tyrese Rice couldn't have been an NBA player for a long time. They're wrong. KC Rivers couldn't have been an NBA player if he were in the right situation. They're wrong. Like those were 2 guys that could have played in the NBA, but end up in Europe because of lack of opportunity and have great careers over there. You're trying to tell me they couldn't have been the last 3 or 4 guys on an NBA bench. You're just wrong.
Well, listen, this has been another episode of the 2023 NBA Draft Prospect Profiles for the Field of 68. That was Terrence Oglesby, who coached Julian Phillips, Tennessee freshman, for a while when he was playing AU Bowl. If you want more profiles like this, make sure you check the links in the description below. And remember, a week before the NBA Draft, we will have the 2023 Field of 68 expert mock draft. We will go through with 6 NBA draft experts and make every single pick for every single team. Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.